just flipped off by a silver-haired old lady with a honk if you love Jesus sticker on the bumper of her car.
Welcome back to Pagitt Radio on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota, PagittRadio.com. If you're following along online, we'd love to have you do so. If it sounds really different right now, if you're like, hey, in the middle of that show, it just came to life. The sound is crisp and clean because we're trying a new microphone here in the studio.
Yeah.
And you people are brought along. It's one that looks like the microphone that you might see in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
Or it looks like a microphone that you would see Elvis sing out of. Or the one that's on the start of 2.5 Men. That classic television show that has been canceled because of the unkind. Which we were talking about this during the break.
Yeah.
I have found it to be funny. You have never laughed at that show,
Doug. I mean, you have like descended in my mind. Your level of
general respect.
General respect. I mean, you like 2.5 Men.
No, I didn't say I like. I've watched maybe an episode and a half or two. I mean, I haven't watched the show.
You like wet yourself laughing.
He said he LOL'd.
I laughed out loud to the point that I had to pause the TV show because I couldn't hear what was going on, what was coming next.
Oh my gosh!
I laughed out loud, and I was totally taken aback by the crass nature of that show.
Oh yeah!
I mean the language and the stuff, the plot lines that they get away with on that show.
Yeah,
it was like the #1 show on television.
It doesn't matter which episode you saw; it's the same plot line.
It's the same plot line in all of them, and I got to tell you. But anyway, so the microphone reminds me of that, and so I want the show to be funny like that.
Yeah.
But not really to be on the Charlie Sheen trajectory.
I'll do my best.
And I'm actually more concerned for you.
I shall double my efforts.
in that sense. Well, we call this segment Cripes, Come On. You got to be kidding me. This is where we have 3 things to cry out about in our world that are not the way they're supposed to be.
They're not.
There are 3 things in this world that remind us every week that the world is not yet finished.
It isn't finished.
That we need to keep digging deep, that we need to keep working, and that we have choices to make in this world.
Dig in and make good choices.
Are we going to be the kinds of people who live with ourselves saying cripes and come on, you got to be kidding me? Or are we going to be the kinds of people who change the world into the right-ons, that make the world the way that we want it? So we're reminded, this is a cry out. This is a confession. Some people think this is not a religious part of the show.
Oh.
This is recapturing confession.
Yes.
This is collectively yearning together that the world will be otherwise.
It's our lament.
It is a 21st century of the Our Father.
Yes.
Hallowed be your name.
Yes.
Your kingdom come.
Yes.
Your will. That's what we're doing. We're crying out with your kingdom come.
I mean, read the Psalms for Pete's sake.
So it's our cripes.
That's all David's doing in those
I grant, and going into some sort of paranoid delusional episode. The cripes for this week goes out to this whole birth certificate issue.
Oh, okay.
Here's why.
Why?
I was with a friend of mine when President Obama was on television saying he was going to release the long form of his birth certificate. And you know what he said to me?
What?
Look at my birth certificate. And I look at it, and it's got the name of his mom and his dad on his birth certificate.
Yeah.
And then he said, but you know what?
What?
Those are my adoptive parents.
Oh.
People don't know this. When you adopt children and they reissue birth certificates for those children with the new names, they say that the adoptive parents are the birth parents.
Oh, my. You just opened up a whole new can, Doug.
You get an adoptive presidential candidate coming down the road,
There's gonna be
and someone's going to look at it, and I'm telling you, they do it. At least they did it in. I think this one was in Nebraska.
Yeah,
and I know they do it in Minnesota. They rewrite the birth certificates to say that these 2 adoptive parents gave birth to this child on this day.
Oh, conspiracy.
So it's just a serious cripes. I mean, seriously. So anytime we get in one of these worlds where someone says, I want to have the official document, and you got to run around in your life trying to line up the official document, most of the time it's like, okay, that one's good enough.
Yeah.
That one's good enough. I mean, my children, 2 of my children have birth certificates saying that we gave birth to them.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know them until they were 5 years old. The government will just let you say whatever you need to say, and if they ever run for president, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if we get the first
you and
Latino
I both know
president,
that's unlikely to happen.
That my children are going to run for president.
John, I can see in his face he's hurt.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of when Shelley calls in, if she heard me say that.
The cripes was going out to all of the official documents, but now it's going out to the sidekick.
Ruben and Chick are
for insulting my children that they're non-presidential material.
Beautiful children they are.
The come on goes out to the royal wedding, the entire royal wedding fiasco. Come on.
My daughter and I watched it Thursday night.
Now, I will tell you, I don't keep up on this stuff. I don't keep up on this kinds of fashions. But that princess, she is a lovely lady.
She's a good looker.
She's just the prince. He's got to be saying to himself, "Oh, she's got no interest in me." So, come on. In any other circumstance, she's not marrying that guy. That's all I'm saying. Any other circumstance, she's not standing arm in arm with that guy in front of the high bishop.
Okay, look. Now, before he started thinning on top, he was like the most eligible bachelor in the world. And you, as a man who has thinned a little, how could you say that about him?
I wasn't commenting on his receding hairline. I was commenting on his English teeth.
Ian, help me out.
But anyway.
I wish I could.
I just think there's not a chance that she's marrying that guy if he's not the prince. I could be wrong, but the come on goes out to the whole fiasco, to the whole fairy tale sort of, we want to watch these people get married, horse-drawn carriages, bajillions of dollars spent, the whole thing.
It's a Rolls Royce, by the way.
It just gets a come on.
I'm with you.
If the come on was ever to be cried out amongst all humanity, this is the time. You got to be kidding me?
What's that, Doug?
You got to be kidding me goes out to this news story I read this week that the ADHD generic drug medication is in a serious limited quantities.
Yeah.
They're not making enough. There are people with ADHD all over the country that can't get their medication.
Tell me about it.
I mean, talk about it. There are some people we need to make sure that they get their medication, and whoever's been living with the generic prescription of the time-released, one time a day ADHD medication.
Do you know what brand it was?
The Ritalin. What's the generic to Ritalin? What's the generic Ritalin product?
Dihepra something or another.
Really? No, I can't remember which particular brand it is, but it's the generic time-released one that you just take one a day. We know you're in serious trouble. You know you got to lay out, or you got to be kidding me, when all of our fully functioning members of our society who are benefited by the ADHD medication can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
All the rest of us need to do something to help those people because they're going to be running around in circles.
That's right.
And they're going to be getting nothing done.
Why are you looking at me?
The Cripes goes out to the official documents, and the man who would insult another man's children as not being presidential material. The come on goes out to this entire royal wedding fiasco.
Was beautiful.
And the you got to be kidding me goes out to the fact that if you're going to run low on any medication in this country, don't let it be the ADHD.
It's
medication.
Generic Alderol methylphenidate.
Yeah, Adderall. Like we don't want to have enough Adderall in this country.
Yeah.
You've gotten us hooked in this country on that stuff, and there's many people who need it.
You need to deliver.
So there's some times in your life that you feel like you just have to say, come on, and Cripes, and you've got to be kidding me. It can't be this way. Hold on. Hang in there. It's not the end of it yet. There's still something coming. There's still the right on. There's still the time when the world is going to be the way that it is. And sometimes there are these kind of fun and silly things. And sometimes the Cripes and come on, and you got to be kidding me, strike you deep. So whether you're in the midst of it for fun or you're in the midst of the deep, hang in there. Hey, we're going to be back here in the second hour with John Newman, natural health coach Shelley Pagitt, and the Right On Doug Pagitt Radio on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.